This is the story of a girl named Maria. She was just 16 years old, full of dreams, hope, and the innocence of first love. One day, while out shopping, she met a guy who would change her life forever. But their happiness was short-lived. Society's rules were harsh and unforgiving. The problem was that the man she fell in love with was considered unacceptable. You see, he belonged to a lower social class, and in their community, such relationships were forbidden. And so she had only one option if she wanted to escape her fate. All she had to do was run away from home and never look back. She was only 16, but she knew exactly what she wanted. She dreamed of escaping to the city, finding a job, building a life of independence. With her head held high, she decided that no one could stop her from being with the man she loved. But little did she know that her decision would cost her everything. Because once word got out, her family felt compelled to uphold their honor by any means necessary. And for Maria, this meant only one thing. She became the victim of an ancient tradition known as honor killing. The impact of such a killing is not just physical, but psychological too. It is a brutal reminder of the power of tradition and how deeply rooted misogyny is in some parts of our world. So what exactly is an honor killing? This barbaric practice often occurs in countries like Pakistan, Syria, Iran, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, and even India. It's sadly still legal in many places. Under this horrifying custom, women are killed for bringing shame to their family, often for something as simple as falling in love with the wrong person or just being too friendly with a man. In certain communities, this is seen as a way to protect the family's honor and reputation. If a woman is suspected of having engaged in premarital sex or has been a victim of sexual abuse, she may be killed in an honor killing. Similarly, if a woman chooses to marry someone her family disapproves of, she could pay the ultimate price. And believe it or not, there are thousands of cases like this every year. Just imagine how terrifying it must be to live under the constant fear of losing your life simply for being a woman. In many cultures, women are not allowed to go out alone or travel without a male guardian. They cannot dress how they want to or socialize freely. But despite all of this, love finds a way. Women still dream of romance, of being with the man they choose. And when they find love, they hold on to it for dear life. And just imagine how traumatizing it must have been for Qassam to witness the murder of his fiancée and her entire family. And unfortunately, this is not an isolated case. There are hundreds of similar stories happening across the world. A woman named Aqsa was killed by her brother for talking to a man. Another woman named Farzana was set on fire by her own father after she rejected a marriage proposal from a stranger. And the most tragic part is that in many of these cases, the perpetrators are never punished. Honor killings are often seen as a private family matter, and the police and legal system turn a blind eye to these horrific crimes. But why though? Why is this allowed to happen in the first place? Well, it all comes down to deeply ingrained cultural norms and values. Many societies justify honor killings as a way to preserve the dignity and reputation of the family and the community as a whole. In some cultures, it's believed that if a woman brings shame to her family, she must be punished, even if that means taking her life. It's a twisted sense of justice that leaves us speechless. But the sad truth is that millions of women around the world are living in constant fear of honor killings. They're trapped in a cycle of violence and oppression. And even if they try to fight back, they're often seen as bringing shame to their family and community. Now, let's get back to Maria's story. As soon as her family found out about her relationship, they started planning their next move. They wanted to make sure that nobody would ever know what really happened to her. After all, they had a reputation to uphold. So they concocted a plan and carried it out flawlessly. When Maria realized what was happening, it was already too late. Her cries for help fell on deaf ears. She tried to resist, but it was no use. They took her to a secluded place and carried out their evil plan. Maria's body was discovered the next morning, and the news spread like wildfire through the small town. People were shocked and horrified, but instead of bringing her killers to justice, the community turned on her. They labeled her a slut and a whore, saying that she brought this upon herself. Nobody cared that she was just a young girl who had fallen in love. Her death was seen as a necessary sacrifice to restore the family's honor. But there was one person who couldn't accept this, a man named Usman. He was a journalist who had always stood up for what is right. And now he was determined to seek justice for Maria. Usman started digging into the case, determined to expose the truth. He talked to people in the community, trying to piece together what really happened. And slowly but surely, he uncovered the dark secret that had been hidden for so long. He learned that Maria had been killed in an honor killing, and he was outraged. Usman knew that he had to do something to prevent this from happening to other innocent girls. So he started speaking out against the practice of honor killing. He wrote articles, gave interviews, and spoke at events, raising awareness about this horrific practice and calling for change. But he wasn't the only one. A group of women's rights activists also joined the fight. They organized protests, marched on government buildings, and demanded justice for Maria. These brave individuals were putting their own safety at risk, because in many countries, standing up against honor killings can have deadly consequences. But they knew that it was worth it. They were fighting for a cause bigger than themselves, for the right of women to live their lives free from fear and oppression. Slowly but surely, their efforts started to pay off. People began to question the practice of honor killings. Some started speaking out against it, while others tried to change the law. It was a long and difficult journey, but eventually, honor killing was outlawed in the country. This was a major victory, but the fight is far from over. There are still thousands of women who are killed in the name of honor killings every year, and many of these cases go unreported because women are too afraid to come forward. Usman and the activists continued their work, traveling to different countries, meeting with leaders and raising awareness about the issue. They also started a foundation to help women who were at risk of being killed in honor killings. The foundation provided shelter, education, and job training to these women, helping them to build a better future for themselves. As time went on, more and more people became aware of the horrors of honor killings. Celebrities started speaking out against it. Movies and TV shows began to tackle the issue. And most importantly, young people got involved. They organized campaigns, created art, and used their voices to demand change. Today, the world is a better place because of Usman and the activists who fought tirelessly to end honor killings. They showed us that one person's voice can make a difference, and that standing up for what is right is always worth it. So let us remember Maria and all the other victims of honor killings. Let us continue the fight for justice and equality for women everywhere, because in the end, it is love, not hate, that will conquer all. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to support us, please make a donation. Thanks for watching.